I keep hearing you say you don't have a mom and daddy. Like, are they deceased?
No, my parents in prison.
How old were you when they went to prison?
I didn't meet my mom until I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Alright, so look, boom, I'm gonna get it to you like this. I'm from Birmingham, Georgia, alright? Everywhere you go, this is something I done learned throughout my life. I got shot in my head when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
I was in Grady. These folks sent me in Grady. I was in Grady for 3 weeks. Some that people don't get. Everywhere you go, it's gonna be somebody with a struggle. You feel me? And it's always gonna be somehow you gotta get out how you live. Because everybody don't got no mama. Like, some people out here, they got their mama. Some people out here, they got their dad. And then you got people like me who got nobody.
They don't really understand the value of a man. I'm the worst for that. And that's simply because I think that, people are looking at all these crimes these young men are creating, like why are people stealing cars, or why are people robbing people? I believe, just in my experience, that 80% of this crime is committed for something as simple. These boys are hungry. They are trying to survive. Imagine you don't know when your next meal is gonna come. So for you uppity folks who sit back looking like, okay, why would they do this, why would they do that? Well, they're hungry. Imagine being 14, 15 years old, you have not seen your parents in weeks. And the only way you eat, I'm not justifying robbing or committing these crimes, but we got to create a place where these boys can go and get something as simple as a meal.
This is for him, so sometimes I don't want to sit right there so he can be able to feel free to say whatever he want to say, however he feel without his mom being there, because some things he might not say without me, or how he'll voice it with me sitting there. So I like that he made this space to where I could just come out and still be here, because I get something from it too. It kind of teaches me how to talk to him and how to listen to him. Because sometimes we don't listen to them. We feel like they're talking nonsense, which most of the time they are. But it still gets me to say, okay, I need to listen more.
It's one thing to just be doing something just so you can get the nice proclamations and all this good stuff. But it's beginning to take a toll on me. And when I went to that prison visit to see all those black men in this one room, it was like 100 plus. And I felt convicted because I was one of those people that only heard about the person who committed the crime in the courtroom or what the media portrayed. So I saw this individual as an animal. But when you actually visit a prison and you see these people in here with their families, with their children, with their wives, with their parents, it changes your whole perception of, although this person could have possibly murdered somebody for no apparent reason, but he's still important to somebody. But to sit in this room and see all these black men, these fathers, these uncles, these grandfathers, and then to leave out of that prison. And the only thing in this 2.5 hour ride I had coming back to Atlanta when I left this prison was, and I don't really want to get on this soap opera, but I want to say to you in personal experience, I really think that black men are undervalued relationship therapists in the world. So this is not about relationship. This is about, we got to go back and teach 7 and 8 year old black girls and black boys the value of relationships, what families look like, because we can blame the little black boy who's stealing cars every day, or we can blame a whole lot of stuff. But what y'all never talk about, the biggest issue is in this world, is a broken black family.
So boom, when I got shot, I felt like I was alone. I ain't had nobody. That's why I got this heart tattoo on my face. Because I gotta love myself before I can love anybody else. So therefore,
yeah, y'all give him a hand, Kevin.
Therefore, when I wake up in the morning, of course, I ask God what I'm still here for. You feel me? But look, if I don't go out and do what I gotta do to get it, where I'm gonna be at?
Police killing everybody. You learn a lot more different things when it's just young black man in the room together, instead of it's a like diverse color, like everybody in their different colors. It's a lot more going on than just different color, because a lot of folks like that can connect like with color. I'm not saying like ain't no race and ain't nothing against no folks, but it's just a lot of folks that I feel like they need that, that extra support.
It's different from just sitting down with a counselor somewhere and trying to talk about issues, because you don't have other, I'm sure from his perspective, you don't have other people there that see it your way. And Joseph's talking about the government issue is the thing is we have a lack of understanding between the youth and between law enforcement and government issues. And I mean, there's so much that young men don't know, and there's so much that public safety a lot of times can't relate to what some of these guys have been through.
One of the ultimate goals of Next Level Boys Academy, that I know that I can go somewhere and eat. There's a restaurant here who provide me breakfast, lunch, and even a dinner when I'm hungry. If you created something as simple as a place to eat, you would probably eliminate a majority of the crime that you see.
Well, 6 feet. It just like, all right, look, for example, me and Joe, my best friend. Me and Joe, we come across 20 bands, boom. We hit for the 20 bands, boom. We do what we gotta do for the 20 bands.
So Joe,
I need it real bad though.
Y'all come up on 20 bands?
Yeah, we come
whatever
up.
you do, don't go into details how you come up.
Nah. I'm just saying, look.
Okay.
I say we come up on 20 band. I really need the 20 band. Like, I say I got a case going on. I need to pay for a lawyer. I need this, and that. I need somewhere to stay. I ain't got nowhere to stay. I ain't got no clothes. But he like, damn, bro. Oh, he say he need this, and that. But he think he just finna take all the money. Then boom, I'm gone. He done kill me.
I just wrote a book entitled Raising Him Without Him. And what it is it talks about the solutions, and it talks about the problems and the solutions for these mothers out here, or some fathers, who are raising these young men but don't quite have the tools or the ingredients. So in this book, it's right now we're pre-ordering the books. And in this book, we're going to talk about everything that you're challenged with your son, and then we're going to give you a solution as to how to handle it. Now, this is not a book. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I always like to make that disclaimer. But in this book, it's all based on the experiences I've had in working with families for the past 10 years or longer. if you go back to me coming out of college, so I have about 25 years of experience of working with families. So what I've done over the years, I've taken mental notes and some notes that I've written down as to what works.
It was a little different for me with him because I have a sibling that's been in and out of prison. He looks just like him. So, you know, parents try to correct their children when they're going through things. But with Brenton's situation, I had no idea it had gotten to that point until I got the call that he was locked up. And robbery one, I'm like, well, maybe they got the wrong kid. Because to talk to him and to see him, you really just don't know he was out there moving like he was moving. So when I got to call him on my second job, you know, and they're calling me and they're saying, you know, he's locked up. Okay, and so single mother, so you're thinking like, okay, I gotta try to get him out. And then, you know, we're having to relocate ourselves from what we was going through. It was a lot at one time. And so I knew when I got him and got him out on bond, I knew he had to reform his mind, renew his mind, because, you know, there's so many things going on in Montgomery. There's violence pretty much every day. You know, you think of Montgomery, Alabama, you think it's a smaller area from Atlanta, but they're doing just as much in Montgomery as they're doing in Atlanta. So I knew then that I had to get him somewhere with men that have walked it and they can tell them. And I guess that's the biggest thing for me with this program. There's so much diversity in the mentors. You may have one that's, you know, can tell them, I've walked your walk. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have not ever walked their walk, but they can still guide them into a better truth.
The kids are not breaking the family, it's these grown folks. And the thing that bothers me the most out of all that I do at Next Level is that we blame these kids for doing all that we want to do. So we put them through situations where the family's broken. We put them through this and say, you know what? I'm not with your daddy. I'm not with your mama. Figure it out. But how do you expect a child to figure a situation out or make a situation work when you as a grown person couldn't do that? You couldn't make a situation work for the sake of the child. So now he's damaged emotionally, psychologically, and you expect him to act normal? I say this all the time. I'm sick and tired of grown people putting these kids in these fucked up situations and expect them to be normal. Y'all are the reason why these kids are fucked up. That's my story.